Good afternoon, America. It's me, late as usual, but that's one of the reasons I don't do the live videos everybody says they want to see, because I cannot. I don't have the time. I just really don't have the time. Anyhow, I have the time. I just can't. I just don't want to regiment my time. If that makes any sense to you. All right. Where are we? Well, it looks like we still have two people floating around in space that are going to be there till it looks like February. I think everybody else has pretty much gotten home. That's kind of, I don't know. So that if you go up there and something bad happens, the odds of you coming home aren't that great. Rescue missions aren't rapid. You'd have to be able to find some place to hang out for 6 months or something like that. I just don't think that's makes going make going into space that palatable to me anyhow. I'm too old for it anyhow. My health isn't, well, I'm not in good enough health to make a trip like that, so I don't worry about it. I'm going down with the planet, guys. Alright. There's a lawsuit in baseball. Some 18-year-old kid says that he had his hands on Orente's record 50-50 baseball before it was removed from his grip. Now, have you ever seen a scrum? Well, you might call it a scrum, when they go after the baseballs that come into the stands. It's not funny. People get hurt, but it's all part of the game. I stay away because I don't care. It's a very valuable ball, according to all the experts, and was going to go up for auction, and now this kid is suing for possession of. That's going to be a complicated case, because this is what I think this boils down to. Possession is 99 9/10 of the law, and the other guy's got the ball, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. What else is going on? Yesterday I talked about the Giants and the Cowboys. They're telling me Cincinnati's in trouble, which I believe, because they're not doing well beginning of the season. And they've got talent. The Giants, they don't have talent. They need a tight end and a running back, and not average, above average tight end and above average running back, and it's just not out there right now. There's some stop gaps that might get them through this year, but some of these players, they don't want a 1-year contract. They're looking for some security. That's the problem with life. Everybody wants security, and life is one of the most insecure things in the world when you really start thinking about it. Well, that's philosophical. We'll talk about that some other time. After the election, when I could be philosophical or pissed off, one of the two. Trump's debt is getting more and more. It's so bad now. He's hawking with watches and trading cards and everything else on the internet. And I said yesterday that all that money goes to him, not to the political party. And I'm watching him, and he looks a little depressed. I think he's either knows that even if he wins, he's not going to do well. He's got a lot of pressure on him, which could explain some of his mental flubs, but I'm not really going to worry about that, because I don't like the man. I don't wish evil on other people, as a rule, because that's karma. Karma comes back to bite you in the ass. But Donald's pushing his luck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I spent the morning listening to Jefferson Airplane, going back to the 60s. Whew, I remember those trips. Mm-mm. They were fun for a while, but you lose your mind easily. I once, I guess it was in the it had to be the early 70s, a few years after Woodstock. I ran into this young girl, daughter of some friends of mine, way too young for me, folks. And I would have to give her rides the parents would ask me to give her rides every once in a while. I say, what's going on? She says she doesn't drive. And so one of the days I took her, that I had her for a ride, it was also a day I got a ticket that I beat, which pissed off a lot of police officers. Which story you want for? Let's go for the beat the ticket. I got a ticket for driving without my headlights on in East Orange, New Jersey, on Arlington Avenue. I forget the exact time and everything like that, but anyhow. And I said, I didn't have to. The cops, and these two police officers decided that, there must be something wrong with me because I wasn't working at at those hours and whatnot. I had a different kind of job. I always had I never worked normal hours. And so taking her home, I got this ticket and whatnot. And I said, I am not dealing with this. I can't afford the ticket, So I'm going to plead not guilty. And I notified the court and everything like that. And I walk into court. And the judge says, how do you plead? I says, not guilty. And I said, I have some evidence to prove that. And the police officers were there. And they're looking at me. And when you go up against a cop, especially in East Orange, and you're a young kid, young man or something like that, you're not going. Usually, you don't win. So I said, okay. Said the judge says you should win. I said, yeah. I said, I'm pretty confident, Your Honor. I said, but I have a question. Isn't the law state that you can't have your headlights have to be on a half an hour before and a half an hour after sunrise and sunset, weather permitting? And the judge says, yeah. So I looked. They wrote the time on the ticket, okay, which was their mistake. I would have fudged the time a little bit or something, but I guess they weren't that smart. Or they didn't know when the sun went down. Anyhow, it was about half an hour or so before, it was about an hour before the sun was supposed to go down. The weather report was clear for where I was. There was no cloud cover. It was a beautiful day. So the judge didn't have any choice but to dismiss the charges against me. And that made driving in East Orange a little shaky for a while. I had to get rid of that car and start driving another car. I also moved out of town, but that's how it goes, But anyhow, looks like that Governor Robinson in North Carolina, what's he, the assistant governor or something like that, is got burned in a car accident or something going to a campaign rally. I mean, there's a guy that's involved in a big scandal and everything. He's a real scumbag. I guess you can call that a karma thing, But I don't think he's got a chance in hell of winning. Which means, you don't really, it's not about how good the other guy is. It's about how bad this guy is. And that's not the right way to win and, to elect public officials. Because you don't know what you get. Example, New York City. Whose mayor is going to go to jail. I mean, oh, wow. New York's always been corrupt. But it doesn't make any difference if the politicians are black or white. New York's a hard place to be a politician. And be honest, it just doesn't work out that well. So, did I cover that Donald's in so much debt that, he's walking? Oh, I did. I said that, yeah. I should cross these things off when I get done talking about them, shouldn't I? You know? Let me check. I wanted to check another story. Let me just check real fast here. I know I'm supposed to do this, and then I'm supposed to have a. If I do this and I run over on a subject or something like this, I'm supposed to have an editor to edit out my yawning or whatever it is that's going on that's keeping me from talking about that. Oh, the Senate's probing Jared Kushner. That doesn't look good. You know, there's so many polls. I think people will answer one poll one way, and then the next guy that calls up, they'll answer the other way. You know what I'm saying? I think people like to screw with the poll takers. They want to all be. Everybody wants to be interviewed. Oh, man. Trump supposedly had Supreme Court create a Wild West for college. What's going on here? Oh, come on, get out of here, will you? I get pop-ups jumping all over the place here. We'll have to read that story and come back at another time. It just it looks like there's this pay for play that they're doing with the college athletes is beginning to bite them in the ass, which I thought it would. You know, I always thought if you're gonna do that, and I have absolutely no problem with them doing that, paying these guys, but you have to have some sort of guarantee that they're going to be around for a while. You know what I mean? And they don't give you that. They don't. That's why a school like Rutgers took a really long time to start producing professional athletes. Like Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs is out of Rutgers. Before that, the most famous football player out of New Jersey, I think, was this guy. I don't remember the kid's name, but he was from Montclair State. He was wasn't a kid. He was a linebacker. Played for the New Orleans Saints. Was a Pro Bowl linebacker. And I watched him play, and he played for the pure enjoy. I talked to him. I knew him. He came to my bartending school, and he was just a good kid, you know. And I hope everything, you know, is still all right for the guy, you know. I have to try and remember his name. Let's check it out. I think I'm coming to the end of this early today, you know. I was up late last night. I watched, what did I watch? The animated version of the Justice League. I watched The Justice League, and then I watched a movie that's been on for quite a while called Priest. That's a good movie. And apparently they ended with the indication that there's quite possibly a sequel, which never happened. And now the movie, the guys the people in the movie have to be a little too old to do it, I guess, because they weren't. This wasn't the kids' movies, you know. What was I going to say? The polls, like I said, I don't understand them. You know, I don't believe them. I don't watch them. I don't read about them. You know, because they had the TV stations. Where at one point there was a law saying that they couldn't release the results of an election in any state until all the states had closed, all the ballots in all the states closed, because they discovered that people vote for winners. And if somebody's winning on the East Coast, the West Coast is liable to vote for. A lot of people on the West Coast are going to vote for that particular person because he's winning. You know, I think that's how Trump got elected the last time. You know, so I don't know. Anyhow, look, I'm done for today. I'm wandering far more than usual, but we will talk soon.